Welcome back, everybody. Monty, Geometry, Shadle Park. Week 10, November 16th to the 21st. We're going to spend the entire week on Lesson 2, the Quad Squad. Okay? So, last week I wanted you to turn to page 127 and kind of get a flavor for what we're trying to do, how we analyze all these four-sided objects, and how each of them has their own characteristics. Okay? So, the first thing I want you to do is focus on page 137. The entire week is trying to make sure that we can determine what makes a square, what makes a rectangle, what makes a parallelogram, so that we can begin to do some math and calculate actual angle measures. All right? But to do that, we've got to make sure we understand certain vocabulary words. All right. So, when we cut a square with the diagonal, okay, we draw that diagonal, we create two equal triangles. Everything's equal, okay? So, in other words, this diagonal bisected it. Bisect. It cut it in half. It did. Consecutive, in order. We're going to see that question, okay? The angles created, are they equal or not equal? Consecutive angles are equal. And I love using the square because we're good at it. And the trapezoid, okay? In the trapezoid, certain angles are equal, consecutive, equal. The isosceles trapezoid works. Then we have this idea of supplementary. Supplementary. Add to 180. Okay? In the square, the angles add to 180. 90 and 90 is 180. Can we say that in all shapes? The rectangle, 90, 90, add to 180, okay? But do these add to 180? Does this add to 180? Those are the types of questions that we ask all week, this idea of a conjecture. So supplementary angles. Angles that add to 180. All right? So we need to think about that. In the parallelogram, if we have a square, and we know those are 90, but I walk up and I smack it, as this gets bigger, this gets smaller. By the end of the week, I hope you're comfortable saying, as this gets bigger, this gets smaller, it always adds to 180 degrees. Serious, I hope you think that. As this gets bigger, this gets smaller, so it always adds to 180. So in other words, consecutive angles are supplementary in some of the quadrilaterals, not all. Okay? Complementary. Things that add to 90. Okay? I'll keep bringing out the kite. All right? So in the kite, focus on those diagonals. Do the diagonals bisect? Is this the same as this? Is this the same as this? But then this idea of perpendicular, complementary. This makes 90 degrees. Okay? What forms a 90? What doesn't form a 90? focus on this chart all week, okay? It takes time. Just the video alone is like 12 minutes, just talking, boom, 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 okay? So I hope we can navigate this chart, push ourselves to think about each of these shapes and these vocabulary words, okay? Hopefully that's helpful. This is Tuesday. By Thursday, let's try to make sure that this chart is mostly filled out so that the rest of the week we can actually do numbers. Let's do some math, everybody. See you Thursday.